So now we are in my dining room, and
hello. Hi, Martina. How are you? Hey, girl, get it together. Get it together. Don't start, Parker. Trying to get this chat going so I can see the comments. Move, please. How you doing, Martina? Can you hear me? Say yes or no in the comments, please. Seven on advanced life support. Oh, you know what, Martina? I blame them. Because why would you take your ass out there when you knew it was going to be that hot? They had some guy on there that he literally said he drove from Texas and had 2 flat tires and drove from Texas to DC with no AC. I said, okay, because he said that um, his president was doing the celebration and it was the 250th and he was going to come regardless. Well, I tip my hat off to you, sir, because I'm closer than you, and I was not going to DC. You see where that lady literally had to go, and they had to put her in the baptism pool that they had because she had fainted? I was just like, what is wrong with y'all? It wasn't that serious. First of all, it was cheesy. Because my thing is, all the money they spent, you mean to tell me that they couldn't get no AC and nothing out there? They couldn't have had one tent, one gigantic tent with air conditioning in it. All these people did was put some cheap ass stuff together, called it a fair, and pocketed the rest of that money. That's all they did. It is the most embarrassing. He ought to be embarrassed in front of his peers. China, Russia, England, Germany, France, hell, Venezuela, if they didn't have what was going on down there, would have put on better celebrations for their countries. I mean, he's just a fuck up. That's all I can say. I mean, I want somebody to tell me one thing he's done right. Okay, so you have less people coming through the border. Okay. Yeah, you do, because everybody's scared. Yeah, they started, they had a bipartisan committee that started planning this back in 2016. And they literally have been having fundraisers since 2016 to put this on. And he took the money and then he wouldn't let them have no permits. He hijacked the whole thing and gave it to, he must know the shittiest contractors. Everybody he know must be screw ups because they can't seem to get nothing right. Nothing. I would, you know what? I was like, for people who paying all that money to stay in his buildings and stuff, if he had them built, I wouldn't dare. Wouldn't dare, because I guarantee it's probably something shoddy and halfway put together. Yeah, that is your president. Your lying, cheating, stealing president. I just wish we pay him off. I mean, seriously, can we just say, hey, can they take him in the situation room and say, okay, how much would we have to pay you to just go on back to Mar-a-Lago and do whatever the hell it is you want to do? How much? Because I would rather just pay him out than for him to keep robbing us blind the way he doing. I'm like, is there going to be any tax dollars left when he leave office? And personally, I'm a little pissed that I'm doing all this work and they taking that much out my check for him to be screwing it up. I want to say F it up. Okay, little plant, you just are not going to make it, are you? Don't start. Hopefully it won't have to be in there for a long, long time. That's so sad to say. That is so sad to say about somebody. But I tell you what, this man, ooh wee. And did you notice who was at that little state fair or anniversary, whatever the hell they calling it? Who was at the anniversary fair? And I don't even know what people were coming to see because there really were no exhibits. Most of the states didn't do anything. They just had chairs. They had one Ferris wheel. They had some groups singing and playing. Um, they had a cow running around, and they had expensive ass food. I mean, I would have thought that they would have had bottles of water that they could have gave out to the people. I mean, it is our tax dollars paying for it. So you couldn't have had free bottles of water that you were giving out? I don't get it. So how? Oh, you did you work today? You I know you work tomorrow. Did you work today? Yeah, that's why all the celebrities and the musicians and stuff. I mean, dang, even Millie Vanilli, and I don't know which one is still living. Is it Millie or Vanilli? That person still said no. I think it's hotter up north than it is down here. I know New York was hotter than we were today. That's crazy to me. I don't know what they're doing to our weather because the northern states are hotter than the southern states. I know YouTube ain't gonna tell people on why. Yeah, it was pretty warm down here. I'm like, I can't do it. See, you guys had, I think it was like 98 today, but it's supposed to feel like 100 and something. But I'm like, how is it that New York is over 100 degrees and they New York? Hey, Nancy. It's just too hot. And this heat is different from, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I done got old. Hi, Tammy. But it seemed like when I go out in it, it's like it's literally I can feel my skin sizzling. It's like it literally hurts my skin to stand out there in the sun. Yeah, and see that was another thing when I lived in the country, it was hot, but because there was trees and stuff around, it didn't feel as hot. But whenever I would come in the city, all the concrete, the streets, especially in like New York and stuff, I can only imagine being in downtown New York with all the buildings and the concrete and the street and the people and the cars. Yeah, all them skyscrapers that they thought was a great idea. Now can't no air get through there. Like where my nope. What did I do today? I finally got out of bed after I did that video this morning. And the day can just go by and you really don't even know what you did. I watched some stuff on YouTube, mostly decorating stuff. I was moving pictures around, kind of straightening up, waiting on some groceries to be delivered. But you know what? I didn't do much because I was going to take me a nap and I never did because I was so sleepy this morning. I'm like, what the heck? But I never did. And I was going to work a little overtime and I didn't do that. I really didn't do anything today but piddle around, as they say in the South. I'll have to go watch it either later, depending on how long this live is, or tomorrow. It's illegal to climb the Statue of Liberty. You're going to get in trouble. I don't even know why they be wanting to do that. I know there's some people who are thrill seekers, but nowhere in my bucket list is it for me to climb a statue, um, a big, large mountain like Mount Everest, jump off with a bungee cord off a bridge or something, tightrope across the streets like in Vegas. I just none of those are on my bucket list. Anything that it could possibly kill me in an instant would not be on my list. Hmm. So what was Brandy talking about when she said tell the truth about candy? Oh, okay. I heard Mondami gave a really, really great speech this morning. I didn't watch it. I don't think I watched anything political, but a couple of little snippets. They be telling too much family stuff. I just be like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I'll be like, it's too much. It's just too much. This don't need to be on YouTube. I know they have a lot of dysfunction, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But baby, I wish they would just go to a counselor. Well, I know Brandy sees a counselor and talk to them. And the sad thing is, Yeah, Candy's always had problems. Just because you're a twin don't make you identical. You know what I'm saying? You can look just like another person, but I think I mentioned that to y'all earlier. God made each of us individuals. And a lot of times in the movies and stuff and in stories, you always had like the good twin and the bad twin. I think Candy might be the bad twin. Yeah, because she tell everybody business. I don't need you out here on YouTube telling people I had an affair on my husband or that I'm gay or you think I have HIV or whatever the heck she be making up. And half of it is not accurate and true, but you're putting this out knowing that people in their town, because they're from Gretna, happen to watch her stupid videos and hear this stuff about her family. But she swear everybody do stuff to her. And I'm like, the stuff you have done to your family, I don't blame them. And then somebody has said Jicky was going to interview the foster mom. I wanted to interview the foster mom. I know she's really sick. So I was like, that'd be kind of wrong to try to interview her unless she wanted to. But I think Candy got a little scared because she was like, why are they messing with, people's family or even their foster family? You don't want her to tell the truth about who you really are. Because I bet you she got some stories to tell about how all this got started. Oh, shoot. I think I put too much water in there. But I'm just like, yeah, she's just not a nice person. And I try to have compassion. I'm really not a mean, evil person that really likes to. Ugh, but she be making me so mad. I don't like people who lie all the time. I just don't. I never have liked a liar. Ooh, that just pit. I will stop being your friend or your acquaintance, or even if you're my coworker at work. We won't talk about nothing but the job. I do not like people who just can't get it together enough to tell the truth. Because I can't trust you on nothing. So all the lying. And there's some dark energy around her too. I don't know what's going on. Seems to me like she's getting worse. What y'all think of my little background? You know what? I'm so crazy. I forgot that I said that I wasn't going to show myself. So I was like, ooh, I got my little red, white, and blue lights. I'll hang them on the candelabra, and that could be my background for the live. And then I'm like, crazy, you're not showing yourself. So I was like, oh, well, let me take a quick picture and use it as my avatar on here. With my red, white, blue. Seeing that I was going to put it on the little tree outside till that wasp stung me. I ain't messing with it. For those who are still working, did you guys have today off? I have never been to the Statue of Liberty. And I was thinking about a month or so ago that I've been to DC, but I didn't go to the White House. And now I will never, ever be able to see the White House the way it was originally because this man done tore it up. It'll never be the same. You work at Walmart, Martina? Hello. Oh, how come Tashana was saying she was looking for you? And y'all have greeters at your grocery stores up there? We do not have that. The only place that has a greeter is Target sometimes, but Walmart. Definitely not at the grocery stores. I never heard of that store from Michigan. I heard of, what is it called? Is it Farmer Jack's that they had in Michigan? I did not know that y'all lived that close. That y'all, she shopped at the same store you worked at. Have y'all met each other in person? Small world. The grocery stores up north are totally different from our stores. Like when I was in Michigan, to me they were dirty. They smelled. They weren't as nice as the stores that we have. They didn't have a lot of products sometimes. I'm like, where is the food? What is going on? Oh, okay. Hey, Sticky, what is this about this retirement that you doing? I understand though. It's hard to have a full-time job, have your family, and try to do YouTube full-time the way you were doing it. I don't know how you was burning the candles at both ends, as they say. Yes, we have door greeters, if that's what you want to call them. Now the older door greeters, oh, you getting your caddy, huh? Go ahead on. Stick it with the caddy. That's an old man car. I think young men like Cadillacs like that unless you're a car person. Oh, you worked for Walmart a long time. How come Walmart done got, well, you know what? I'm sorry, Nancy, but Walmart is on my do not shop at list, at least for the ones down here. I can't ever find anybody. I got to do all the work myself. They're not nice. The people that work there don't even want to wait on you. It's horrible. So I figured there's enough people to shop at Walmart. They won't miss my money. Oh, well, people came over here and told me, did you hear? Sticky is retiring. I was like, well, who gonna be the head over the red triangle cult then? And I never did hear Candace say anything about you retiring. Besides, you can't retire until you take her down. She over there using the Candy Pelosa as her way of getting some more money out of people. I'm sorry, y'all. This broad, if they paid for her tomorrow night and Sunday night, she would have gotten $1,000 literally out of people. Yeah, I'm like you. I be working. I used to work 12 hours a day. They cut us down to 10. And so after I work 10 hours, I just don't be wanting to sit in front of a camera and talk. I don't, because I got to get up and do it again the next day. So I fully understand and I like making the money. You know what? I was wondering because some of that stuff, it'd be bordering. I mean, I'm like this. If people are dragging her about the bullshit she's doing, that's one thing. But sending satanic, demonic, sexual stuff, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know who's worse, her or the people sending it to her, because I'm like, apparently they watching it since they know where to go get it, and she like looking at it because she always look at it. I'm just like, it's something dark going on around her. I don't know. Lately, when I watch her, it's like, I don't know. It seems it's a little different. I don't know what it is. I know she got a little obsession with sex. So I don't know. Yeah, I know. I said it. They don't, pay me no attention. I'm not on the radar. But like I told her, I don't know why you watch it. Why would you look at that? You know where it came from. You know when you get the email that it's not somebody that you would be talking to. So why would you open it up and look at it? I'm not putting that in my eye gate. Oh, I didn't know that, Martina. That's why we like. I'm not a Cadillac person. Um, I don't think my dad had Cadillacs because that was the show car. It meant you was somebody if you had a caddy. Um, my uncle, they all worked for car dealerships up in Michigan, so they had Sevilles. That was the big car. Is that a Cadillac? A Seville? I don't know. I'm not a big car person. I used to always just want my car to get to point A and B, sometimes C. But as I got older, I started getting into cars a little bit more because I went from hoopties to nicer cars. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I thought about that. Um, so when I got my first Lexus, I was like, ooh, this sure does ride different from a hoopty. So I kind of got spoiled driving those Lexus. And then I went ahead and got this Mitsubishi. Don't say that, Sticky. You might be able to afford a 27. We're going to put that in the atmosphere. If you want a 2027 Cadillac, you can have one. I went and got me a 2026 this year. And it was red, Candace, because red is my favorite color. So I said, I'm going to get me a red car because, if you get a red car, they always want to charge you more for the color. I was like, but I'm going to get me a red car with my caramel leather on the inside. And that's why I'm over here working all these hours, too. I didn't know you had haters, Sticky. I thought everybody loved you other than Candy and Matthew and her people. I want to know where's you still young. I was check to check for many years when the children were young and I was still married. When you're young and you're trying to take care of your family and the children are growing and all that, money can be a little tight sometimes. But I tell you what, Once the kids get older, you still be helping them, but it ain't the same way. Your money is a lot freer. You can now know why old people have sports cars and all that, because they can finally afford it and they don't have to be taking care of children like that. Oh, fireworks are illegal up there? You know what? I have not heard one firework. My sister was saying they were doing them over in her neighborhood last weekend. I haven't heard a one. They're not supposed to do them in the city, but they do. Now in the country, oh, they fireworks, shotguns. I'm not a fireworks person either. The only ones I liked were the sparklers. I was always afraid of the other ones. So I never did fireworks like for the boys when they were coming up. I ain't do fireworks with them. We could go someplace and watch them, but we weren't gonna do them at the house. Oh, they can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Very dangerous. I might have to look and see because I'm close to Fort Jackson, and they used to have, I guess they still do it, have a really big 4th of July fireworks show. I don't even know if they're letting people on the post no more because they done got so strict since Headseth has been in charge. They have gotten real strict about going out to Fort Jackson. Even though I can go on post, I don't even go. I used to go to get my liquors because South Carolina didn't sell, well, they still don't sell liquor on Sunday, but now that I don't drink liquor really and I just drink my wine, I can get wine any day that I want it. And I always forget about the commissary because people are like, why don't you go out there and get your food? You don't have taxes on it. I'm like, I don't eat that much like that. I need to go out there and get that. All right, Sticky, be careful going home. If I'm up, I'll look to see if you're doing your live. That's every year, Martina. Every year, because people want to go get those big old fireworks, and then they don't really know how to set them off, and then somebody end up getting hurt. They end up shooting them into their own house, somebody else's house, or into themselves. Matter of fact, one of my mom's friend, her house got burned down from a fireworks New Year's Eve. They were out front shooting fireworks and didn't realize one of them had gotten shot into the house and started a fire, and she lost her house. She got a bigger one now, but she did lose that one. And she had just gotten it renovated. She had just added 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and extended her kitchen and family room. I don't even think she had the renovations done, shoot, a good 6 months before it caught on fire and it was gone. I think some mosquitoes done got in here. I had sprayed the backyard, but all this rain that we had gotten just washed all my mosquito repellent away. I'm gonna have to spray it again. Might need to do that tomorrow. Do y'all have mosquitoes up north like we have them down here? I'm trying to remember, did I ever have to deal with mosquitoes when I was in Michigan in the summertime? Well, I guess everybody else must have had something to do tonight. How many of y'all are cooking out tomorrow for the 4th or going to family's house for the 4th to celebrate? Having a family get together. Even though it's going to be hot as the dickens. Anybody? Shoot, I'm gonna be sleepy. This may not be a long live since we don't really have too many people in here. Yeah, I heard some in Vegas tested for the West Nile virus. That's why I'm trying not to get bit up this year because I don't know. They might have put them out just so they can bite us. Seeing if they put stuff in the dang on what's the things in the I want to say leeches, but it ain't leeches. Oh, it's okay, Nancy. Saying they like to infect the insects with stuff that'll bite us and give us diseases. I don't know. They might have put the mosquitoes out with the West Nile virus in them. I don't put nothing past our government no more. I'm sure that's pretty. You know what? They can say whatever they want to say about Mundami, but at least I can say he is one politician that said he was going to do stuff, and he has been a man to his word. Now, they said his wife said some racist stuff a while back. I don't know. I'm sure it's possible. See if I can pull that up. You know what? I have not seen any moths this year. In the country, I used to see them, but I have since I moved back up here in the city. I have not seen any. Some of these stories that be coming up, I'll be like wondering if it's true. A parasite outbreak is causing explosive diarrhea across the U.S. And why these people on the cruise ship? Why these cruise ships keep having everybody get these crazy stomach viruses? Another reason why I'm not going to take a cruise. Another reason why I'm not going to take a cruise. Too many people all closed up in one area. Even if the ship is big, all you need is one or two people to get sick. And you got a hot mess. Well, I bet you do because it's probably not as crowded, not as busy, and you can still go to the city if you want to visit. I have never been to New York. I always said I wanted to go, but I wanted to go with somebody who was from there so they could show me all the good places. Oh, Martin, they got it all jazzy up. They got a whole light show to celebrate America 250. Pretty neat. Hey, Brandy, how are you? They were talking about your show you did earlier. Oh, Well, at least they did something good, Martina, because they've been giving him all the other stuff he wanted. Oh, that was last night? Man, I was asleep. I'll be tired at the end of the week. I got off and went to bed, took a nap. I know I was in the bed by what? Did I work overtime yesterday? Nope. I think I was sleepy. By 3 o'clock? See, there are some things you can get in the city that you can't get other places. Like, this is beautiful. I'm looking at the pictures of the Statue of Liberty and the light show. We can't get that down here. I mean, they could do it, but we don't have no Statue of Liberty. That's nice. How come our president couldn't do something like this? They got that cheap ass fare up there. Making us look bad around the world. So let's see. I haven't been on here for a minute. So what do I want to touch bases on? We had a situation here the other day. I want to say Wednesday, where this lady left her 3 children in the house and the house caught on fire. And the children were 6, 4, and 2. And it just so happened when the neighbor called in the fire, they didn't even know that there were children in the house. It was a good thing that they were in the back room and the fire hadn't gotten to them, but the smoke did. One of the kids was passed out in the hallway on the floor. They sent them to the burn center down in Charleston, but they said the house was horrendous. There was roaches, there was mice. They said the little baby had on a diaper that had maggots and bugs and all this stuff in her diaper. It was 3 little girls. Can you believe that? Maggots in the baby's diaper? And the mama hadn't been home for over a week. It was one of the fathers of one of the little girls. She had texted him because he didn't live there. He lived someplace else with a new girlfriend. And she had texted him and told him one of them needed to go check on the children. When the police and the fire department came, she literally had came in the crowd. And after she seen the police was there, she left and went and hid out at somebody's house. They found her the next day, her and the father. They're both in jail. And she's from New York. And I'm sitting there watching them do the when they bring them up for bond, the bond hearing. And she was trying to act all bougie, talking about she had requested a lawyer and she had not gotten one. And that no, she didn't work. And yeah, she had been gone, but it wasn't just her fault, and that she came from a military family and all this. And I'm like, bitch, you left your children by themselves. They said the food that was in there was spoiled. They didn't have anything to eat. And I was so mad because the judge had gave them, what do they call them? Surety bonds or whatever that thing is. A surety bond, I think that's what it is. But I'm so glad she put it at, like, she got hers was 300,000 and his was 200,000. So neither one of them would be able to get out because they ain't got the money, because he don't work and she don't work. And she was trying to act like she was all that. And I'm like, you're not taking care of your children, but you're constantly pumping out babies. And her mother was in the military. That was her mom's house. And I'm just like, and apparently you wasn't taking care of it. But I'm just like, how do you live in a house like that? How do you just do your children like that? The man wasn't there. He done moved on with another woman. But you're the mother. You carried these children. And I'm like, I have never heard of a baby having maggots in their diaper. I was just like, they should be underneath the jailhouse. I was just like, oh my gosh. So they didn't do a GoFundMe. They got a fundraising thing that they're doing Monday and Tuesday. So I was like, I'm just going to give some money because I don't know the sizes because the children were malnutrition. So I'm just going to donate some money for them to be able to get the kids what they need because they're going to go to some, hopefully they'll be able to stay together. And I pray to God that whoever gets them won't misuse them and abuse them worse than their mama did and take the money and do bullshit with it versus taking care of them kids. I am so tired of hearing about our children just being so abused. That just ticks me off so bad. Because right behind that, did y'all hear about the family in up there in Martin in Ohio? If I'm not mistaken, the mother, father, and the grandparents had the 16 kids locked in a 12 by 12 room. I don't know how she do it. How does she do it? I don't know if I could have a job like that. Um, oh, it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could cut it off when I came home. Some of the stuff they see, you know. And so the police was saying at the last one with 4 grown ass adults, and they got 16 kids in one room for 4 freaking years. It was so bad that the neighbor said they never even saw the children. They did not know children were there. I was like, how do you do that? How do you just put kids in a room and act like they don't exist? I mean, how do you live with yourself? I mean, none of the 4 had any compassion. I was just floored. I was like, what the hell is wrong with people? She got to have tough skin. And then I heard that, you know, this whole Epstein thing is just one branch of a very, very big tree. There are reports coming out of Venezuela since they had, what did they have, what was it, an earthquake, hurricane? What was it, an earthquake, wasn't it, in Venezuela? That they are trafficking those children. That the ones that the parents can't find, they're literally doing stuff like when the parents go to look for their children, if they don't get there first with the first responders, okay, earthquake, if they don't get there first with the first responders and find their children, they have traffickers there who gets the kids and they will charge you to get your children back. If you can't afford to pay to get your children back, they're trafficking them out. They had advertisements on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. And one of the advertisements was like, rescued, and they called I don't know if it's a boy or girl, they called the child a flurry and said rescued a flurry from the Venezuela and was selling the child for like $3,800. I'm just like, oh my gosh, people are so freaking sick. This world is just, I know we've always had this stuff. I know this isn't anything new, but it just seems like now they just don't care. We gonna sell children. We gonna steal children during a horrific situation like an earthquake or 2 earthquakes. And we're just gonna steal the children and sell them to people in other countries or wherever they want to go, wherever they want to take them. Now, they did say that there was a big thing about the Clintons when they had this going on, and when Hades had a situation years ago, and the Clintons and their foundation went down there, and they were supposed to be taking the children to take them to a better place because things had gotten so bad. I think they might have had a hurricane, might have been a hurricane, tornado, or something. And parents, were desperate to get their children out of there. So they're thinking, hey, it's the Clintons from America. Of course, they're going to do the right thing with their foundation. They was taking those children and trafficking them. It is just so sad, the things that people with money and power will do, or the people who's trying to make money will do. I just couldn't even imagine doing that to any child, whether they're my child or not. It takes a very, very sick mind. That's why when I was working in my field of being a counselor, we technically, as a counselor, you're not supposed to say that there's a population of people that you didn't want to work with. But I told them straight up, I'm not working with no pedophiles. Not doing it. I take a serial killer before I do that. And I was so happy that all the years that I was doing it, if I did encounter one, it never came out. I heard more about people being abused. Never heard anybody tell me that they had abused, or I felt like they might have. They could have, but it never came out. But that said, I don't care how poor I am. And there were times that I didn't have 2 quarters to rub together, and that's no lie. I wasn't finna sell my children for that. We just all gonna be poor together. We'll all be hungry together. We all be homeless together. We just gonna do it as a family. If I had to sell somebody, I would have sold myself before I sold one of my children. I mean, but I guess if you come from a background where nobody ever cared about you and they sold you, I was looking at North Kardashian West, and I'm like, I give it 10 years and we're going to hear about her horror stories about how her parents let her or put her in the business and how people misused and abused her. Because it's a cycle. Kim's mama sold her, and then the grandmama sold her daughter, which was Kim's mama. So I guess Kim figures it's okay to sell her daughter. But the other two sisters don't play that. Chloe and Courtney, you don't see their children out there doing all that. You don't even see Courtney kids hardly. I don't think they've ever shown that last one she had with Travis. What's his name? Travis Scott? Not Travis Scott. His name is Travis, but he's not Scott. That's the other one. Other Travis. I don't even know, why would you put your 13-year-old out there, even if she wanted to do music? She can do music right there. She ain't got to go on no tour while you out with your young boyfriend and her crazy ass daddy running amok with his wife. I don't either. I just happened to see that in my timeline, it came up because people were talking about why would they let their 13-year-old go on a tour with no parents with a 21-year-old who's doing the tour with her, and she's taking all these pictures with these adults, and she was looking like, in one set where they were taking pictures, it looked like she had tears in her eyes. She didn't want to take the pictures and stuff. And I'm like, Why would you let your 13-year-old go on tour without you? It's been the same. But you know what? Slavery, they didn't have no choice. It's not like they gave you a choice if they wanted to sell your children or sell your wife or your husband or your family members. They just did it. They didn't have no choice. And we know everybody was being raped, male and female. They don't talk about the men as much as they talk about the females, but it was happening to the men too. That was one of the reasons they had that big uprising in Jamaica, was because it stemmed from the owners of the slaves there. The men had just gone hog wild with doing stuff to the boys and the males and stuff. It's been happening for years. I mean, it was happening back in, if you're a Christian, back in biblical times. It don't make it right. It don't make it right. And I can tell you right now, it screw people up. It messes them up. That's why you got so many adults out here running amok, doing crazy ass shit. I don't know. The human race can be very, very evil and sick. And it don't seem like we want to get any better. Seems like people get pleasure now in all the horrible stuff. Have y'all noticed that these people with money, how come they don't be looking happy? I be looking at all these, the tech people, the Bezos and all that. They just don't seem to be the happiest people for them to have the bulk. Like Elon Musk, a trillionaire. He has more money than half of the Americans put together. But he doesn't seem like a very happy person. At all. At all. And I'm just like, there's something to be said about having a lot of money and power, but you still got issues on the inside. They jacked up. People think that if you get money and power, it's going to solve your issues. It don't. It doesn't. I was listening to something that Will Smith has said about, having a lot of money. He was like, if you get to where you make $1 million, that's like the perfect place to be. Because you can do all the things that you thought about doing. You can help your family and you can help other people. He was like, but when you start making more than $1 million, that's when stuff get involved. Like you can't trust nobody, or you don't feel like you can trust anybody. You don't know who's trying to be around you just because you got money. It no longer buys you happiness. It actually causes you more problem, more hurt, and more pain. Yeah, Martina, everybody is. But it seems like the ones that, well, I don't know, because the people that ain't got no money can be just as bad. So I can't say that. And isn't it funny that you ever think back, like when you didn't have really no money and you were like trying to scrape the dollars together to pay the bills? You just kept saying, when I make more money, I'm going to be so happy. And then you make more money, and then it seems like you still have just as many bills as you did when you didn't have no money. I remember when I first started making enough money where I could pay all my bills and not have to worry about it, that I forgot one month that I had paid all my bills, and I paid them twice because I wasn't used to being able to pay all my bills. I was, what is it, robbing Paul to pay Peter? I had that game down to an art. But, it's nice to be able, and I used to say that I don't, if I, or I can't say if, because it's been prophesied that I'm supposed to be a millionaire. I was a half a millionaire, worth that much at one time. Now that don't even seem like a lot with the cost of living and stuff. $500,000. That ain't really nothing. But I had already wrote out what I was going to do if I make a million. Still got that plan. But I didn't have to be wealthy and filthy rich. I just wanted to be able to take care of my needs, be able to help my family and help other people. I just didn't want to have to wake up and not be able to pay the bills. That's very stressful when you got to lie about not having the money to pay your rent, or you're trying to stretch the groceries because you had to pay all the bills, or you're on the payment plan and you still can't make the payment plan for the utilities. Very, very stressful. What is a win-loss tax paper? I've never played like that at a casino. I'm more of a slots person. Play a few dollars on the slots and that's it. And you know what? It is so easy to do. The first time I went to Vegas, I think I spent like $300, and then I won 150 back, and then I won another 150. I think when I left, I was like $75 up. I was just happy I won my money back. And I don't know if they still have it, because there used to be old Las Vegas and new Las Vegas. And you could win better in old Las Vegas, where the older hotels and the casinos were. I don't know if it's still like that now. Because now, they busy trying to make sure you don't leave with no money. And gambling can be very addictive. It sure can. Mm. I wonder if do you have to do that on all the money that you win, or it's a certain amount? Like if you win over a certain amount. Well, usually it's people who don't have that, like, who gambles. I mean, there's a lot of people that gamble, but a lot of times, like here, we got the lottery. I liked it better when we had the video poker machines, though. So I'm gonna give y'all a story time in the midst of this live. I had forgotten all about this. We finally got the video poker machines here. Oh, this was a long time ago, because my son was 3, 4. He was 4, 3 going on 4, or either 4. And I was a single parent mom, so I had a job that I worked during the day. It paid the bills, but it didn't give me a whole lot of extra. So I had gotten a part-time job working at one of the video poker places. And I worked in one of the rooms. And so we used to have, this is how slow South Carolina was. I'm sure they did not do this in the big cities. We had the cashier, but then each one of us in the rooms had our own little cash box, so that the people that were playing would never have to get up and go to the cashier. They could just go ahead and get change with us and stuff like that. Now, if they needed to cash out something big, they would go to the cashier. So I used to work in there, and I liked it because you could get tips. And I was much younger. So let's say I was in my 30s. So I still had a cute shape and all that. So I used to wear my mini dresses and my short shorts and stuff, and go in there, and hopefully somebody was going to win that wanted to tip me good. because I would go get them coffee, especially because I worked the overnight shift, like 11 to 7, something like that. And I would get them coffee, get them something to eat, because the people that own the place would always have somebody cater food, so they have food. Them people didn't have to leave at all, and we had people like that. They would literally. There was this one couple, two ladies. They would come in on Friday and would not leave till Sunday. That was crazy to me that they would stay in there that long. We had a lot of people that would stay in there 24 hours. Didn't mean nothing to them. And I didn't know how to play. So I never played, and we weren't supposed to play because we worked there. Even though they would sneak and play sometimes, but we weren't supposed to play. So one night when I was in there, one of the regulars came in and they were talking to me about, did I play? And I was like, no. They was like, do you even know how to play? And I didn't. So they were showing me how to play. They was like, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take you, because he used to stay overnight. He was like, when you leave in the morning, let's go over to this place and I'll show you. So I was like, what the hell? It was his money. So I was like, I'll play with his money. And I was trying to make me had a little hustle in me. So I was trying to make me a little money too. So he took me to another spot and showed me how to play. That was the worst thing that he ever could have done. Because then I would start going there after I got off work. Well, this was my plan. I was a single parent mom. I needed money. So my thing is, I'm looking at the jackpot. It's like $5,000. Maybe I can hit it, and then that's going to solve my money problems. Or at least I can hit some. So it got to the point that I would get off like on a Saturday morning, and I was the one going and staying all day. Because me and my sister lived together. The one that Black Fuego, the one that would come on sometimes for the lives, we lived together. So she would be at the house with the kids. I would call and check on my son, see how everything was going or whatever. And I know one Saturday morning I went, and I always had a limit of how much I was going to play. So most of the time I would play whatever tips I got from the people that won or whatever. But one morning I went in there and I was playing, and I didn't like to play. And this was when they had quarters. I don't even know how they play now, because I looked at some when I was in Georgia at the gas station, and I think you can put your debit card in there. It's so complicated now how you play. I'm like, how in the world? I'm just used to put the quarter in, or the quarters, or the dollars, or whatever, and push the buttons and boop, 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 or whatever. It has definitely changed. And so I'm sitting in there, and I never liked to play for more than, like, to me, playing a quarter was high money, because I didn't want to have to lose. And definitely talking about 75 cents or $1. But of course, the higher you play, the bigger the win. So I had sat there and I had won $750. And I knew I should take that $750 and go home. But my mind was saying, you won $750, you can get that $1,500 for the jackpot. It's just a little bit away. And even the person that worked at that place was like, Dad, you better take that money and go home. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to play for a little bit more. Man, I sat there and played till I lost the $750 that I won. And then I lost my rent money, because I played my rent money. Oh my gosh, I was so sick that day. I was so sick, I just wanted to throw up. I went home and I was just crying. And my sister's like, what's wrong? And I told her, and she was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, what are you supposed to do? Because now I done lost my half of the rent money. Oh my gosh. I was just sick. So that was that Saturday. Just so happened that weekend, my son and my niece had went to her grandparents' house, because her grandmother used to watch my son when he was a baby. So whenever she would go on the weekends, he would go over there too because he kind of considered her like a grandmother, surrogate grandmother. So he would go over there. So they were at their house. So I just came home and I just got into bed because I was just sick as a dog. I don't think I had to work that night. I think I was off that Saturday night. So that Sunday, it was just all I could do to be able to get up. So I cooked a Sunday meal, and there was something I wanted to watch on TV. It was some show that came on Sunday night, and I had said that I was going to cook, eat, and watch whatever show it was that I wanted to see. Well, I had cooked and I had ate early, and I laid down and I was taking a nap. I had fell asleep, and I heard my sister screaming, "Get up, get up, get out the house," or something. And people were bamming, and she was like, "Fire, fire." And I'm trying to figure out, when you sleep and somebody wakes you up with screaming and yelling and you don't know what's going on. And I go to the back. We had sliding glass doors to the apartment we stayed in. And I go to the back and I pull the curtain or the blind, I think it was blinds. I pull them back and the whole backyard was on fire. I'm tripping now. So I have fell asleep, and my mom has this thing that when she gives us like Christmas gifts, she gives us the same thing just in different colors. She's been doing that for years because she says that we used to fuss about if she gave one something and gave the other one something different, one person was not going to be happy. So she gave everybody the same thing. It was 3 girls and 1 boy. So me and my sisters always got the same thing. So that Christmas, she had gave us, it was like a fleece gown, but it had animals. Like I think my sister had a dog. I had a kitty, but the kitty was like a furry kitty, and it was just like the head of a kitty cat, but it's the fur and stuff stood up. It was like 3D kind of. So the cat face was like made of fur. I had that on. When I seen that fire, I just grabbed my purse that had like my ID and stuff, and I had on some house shoes and that furry kitten gown and ran out the front door. I was so happy that they didn't have like the news people to come along because I was looking like a crazy fool out there. Once I got outside and we're watching the building burn because the fire department got lost and went to the wrong place. So by the time they got there, these were old apartments, so they didn't have firewalls. And it had started in somebody's shed on the back of the apartment where they had their washer and dryer hookup. And so the fire started and it went across, it was at the other end of the building. And because we didn't have firewalls, it went across the top part, and it had, by the time the fire people had gotten there, it had went over 3 stairwells, and it was over my apartment, but we were downstairs. And the top part was on fire. So we didn't get the fire in my apartment, but because of the water damage, because they're trying to put the roof out and all that, so then everything was falling in from the second floor down into my place. So it was water damage everywhere. And I'm standing outside, and I realized that the part of the rent that I did have, I had gotten it in a money order, and it was sitting on my nightstand inside the apartment. I had left all my money inside the apartment. I don't know why. I think I had taken my wallet out or something. So when I grabbed my purse, I wasn't thinking. I thought everything was in there. And I'm outside, and I ain't got really nothing but me in this furry gown. Oh, my gosh. It was horrible. But it kind of saved me because, I just said I had gambled my rent money. So because the place caught on fire and we couldn't move back in, I ain't have to pay rent. I know that's pretty crappy, ain't it? To be to be happy that happened. So I wouldn't have to move back in. But that was crazy. I had never been in a fire before. I was so happy my son wasn't there. I was so happy that the kids wasn't there and they didn't have to see that. He was so upset because he had lost all his Power Ranger. My son was a Power Ranger fanatic. But God is so good, because when people found out, about the fire and all that at the school that he was at, one of the teachers, her son was a Power Ranger fanatic, and he was older, and so he had heard that we had the fire and stuff. He put all his Power Rangers together in a nice little Power Ranger suitcase and gave them to my son. That was so sweet. People had gave us so much stuff. It just makes me think, because that's when I started the beginning of my walk to give my life over to Christ, and I didn't even know it. Because that holiday season, I had friends that had came in town and they wanted to go out for New Year's Eve, and I had told them, nope, I'm not going out. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to watch the New York City, the ball drop and all that, and then I'm going to bed. I don't think I even made it for the ball to drop. I had went to sleep. But I had opened up my Bible and I had prayed for the new year to come in, and I went to sleep. And then that's when we had the fire in January. And then I had to move in with my mom. That was a whole nother story. But the thing was, I had lost everything. And so a lot of things that I lost was stuff that I had gotten over the years, because I had just been out the military maybe 3 years, 4 years at that point. So a lot of the things that I had was stuff that I had collected over my military years. They got water damage, smoke damage, and I don't care what Red Cross tell you. They're going to tell us, just wash your clothes in some spick and span, and you should be able to wear them. No, all you do is have clean clothes that still smell like smoke. I lost my job because I was trying to see what I could salvage, and the people wanted me to, which I thought was pretty shitty. They knew I had a fire, but they wanted me to come to work, and I couldn't because I was trying to see what I could salvage. So I lost my job, had to move in with my mom. But I had a friend that helped me get on. That's when I started working for Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which I did not want to do, but I needed a job because I was a single parent. But the most amazing thing that happened in all of this, I'm telling y'all this story twofold. One, I ended up becoming a dang on gambler having a gambling issue. But God was good, because that stopped my gambling right there. Because I don't know how long I would have went. And then they took gambling, the poker machines out. Said that people was having too much of an issue. I'm sure they were, because I'm sure I was not the only one that was out there losing rent money in them dang on poker machines. But people had gave us so much stuff, and some of the stuff was too big for my son. It was for older children. So there was a place called God's Storehouse, where people in the community could come and get clothes and food and things like that. And they would help you to get on assistance and stuff like that. So I knew about it. So I was like, well, I'll take all the stuff that I can't use. I'll take it over to God's Storehouse so somebody else can use it. Because I'm just not going to sit here, and hoard stuff that I know I can't use. So I went and took a whole bunch of clothes and pots and pans and stuff that I had too many of, and I took it over there. Now I'm on my way back to my mom's because I had to move in with her. So I'm on my way back, and I'm in my car, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I was driving in my car, and I'm playing the radio, which sounds funny now, because how many people even listen to the radio when they're in their car anymore? But I'm playing the radio, and it was one of the black stations here, Big DM, and I'm jamming. I'm just singing, and I think smoking me a cigarette and driving along. And I heard this voice say, I will make you fishers of men. And I'm looking around in my car like, what? That ain't in the song. But it wasn't somebody outside of me saying it. It's like when you talk to yourself, how you can hold the whole conversation with yourself. But the voice wasn't, it was my voice, but it wasn't me. Because I always thought when God would speak to you, it was going to be like this big old deep voice like, Deborah, I will make you fishers of men. You know, something, something, I don't know, deep and spooky or something. But it was my voice saying something to me that I never would have said to myself. Matter of fact, I was saying to myself, seemed like I heard that before, but I don't remember where I heard it. It's like I knew it had something to do with church, but I really couldn't remember because I didn't know my Bible. I mean, when we went to church, we didn't read the Bible. Heck, we didn't even pay attention. And after I left home and got on my own, I was like this. I wasn't going to be a hypocrite. So if I wasn't going to go to church all the time, I wasn't going to go at all. So I was like, what? You're going to make me fishers of men? And I just didn't understand it, but it kind of scared me because I knew it meant something. I didn't know exactly what it meant. And I knew it wasn't me saying it to myself. So I was going through an apartment complex, and one of my mom's friends, I was driving by her apartment. And the only thing that I had out of furniture that managed to make it through the fire was like one of those Queen Anne dining room sets. And I remember I had saved up. Oh, I just love that. I wanted me that cherry wood set with the china cabinet and everything. I had saved up, put it on layaway so I could have that. That was the only thing that survived. When I passed past her house, I heard that same voice say to me, give Niecy the dining room set. And I'm like, what? It said, turn around and tell Niecy you're going to give her the dining room set. I don't even know why I was being obedient to this voice that sounded like me, but wasn't talking like me. But I turned my car around, went and knocked on her door, and she was actually home. And she was talking to me. She was asking me, did I need any help? She had heard about us having a fire and everything. And I was like, no, I'm staying with mom. Everything's good. I was like, but I have a dining room set. That's the only thing that managed to make it through the fire. And I felt like I'm supposed to give that to you. Now, little did I know, she had just moved from one apartment to the next. When they were bringing her table down, dining room table, she had a glass dining room table. The guys broke the glass. So she no longer had a dining room set. She had the chairs, but no table. And when she told me that, I was like, wow. So she was like, well, you don't have to give it to me. If you just want to leave it here, till you move into your new place, you can just leave it here. And when you move, you can just come back and pick it up. I was like, nope, I'm supposed to give it to you. I was like, when we move out the rest of the stuff, we'll drop it off to you. And she didn't want to take it because she knew that was the only thing I had left. And I was like, no, I'm supposed to do that. Now, I don't even know why I went along with giving this woman the last piece of furniture that I had, especially something that I had put on layaway and really, really wanted bad. But I was obedient, and I took her to the dining room table when we had moved out what we could. Now, I get to my mom's house, and I'm so excited about this whole thing that has happened since I left God's storehouse to get into Niecy's apartment. The whole thing about telling me, gonna make me fishers of men, telling me to give Niecy the dining room set. So I go in the house, and I'm telling my mom all about this. And my mother looks at me, and she's like, what the hell is wrong with you? That's the only damn furniture you got left. And you gonna give it away to somebody? That would be my mom. And I was like, okay. But that was my first step and journey. And it still took me 3 more years. Yeah, 3 more years before I actually started going to church and really walking that out. And then it still took me probably from the time that was said to me 6 years to realize that God was calling me back then when I was in that car listening to that radio station. And he was telling me he was going to make me fishers of men and he was going to put me in ministry and all that. Oh, you know why that story came up. But yeah, little did I know. I tell people, I was not in line saying I wanted to be in the church, be anybody in the church, walk in any type of title in the church or any of that. I was happy being a straight up sinner. I was. I really was. I wasn't even thinking about trying to change my life. I felt like my life was okay, doing exactly what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, how I wanted to do it. But things happen, and you never know. You never know when things are going to happen, and you never know how they're going to happen. That's why, you can talk to somebody and you don't even know who they are. They might be somebody that's going to help you now or in the future, or you may be something you need to do for them that's still going to benefit you. That's why when I see people treat people so horrible, that's the thing that really got me mad with Vanessa, her using God as her way to manipulate people and get money. And the same thing with Candy, the reason why she like Christian. And they always like older Christian women. I don't know what happens to us when we get older. I know maybe we get soft or we be lonely. We just want to have somebody to talk to. I don't know. Why is it that when people get older, they let other people separate them from their resources so easily? Because they would not have let them do that in their 20s and 30s. When y'all were 30 years old, could anybody have just come up and told you some story and you would have just gave up your money? I don't know. Maybe some of y'all would have. I know I wouldn't have. Ain't gonna do it now either. But people become so gullible the older they get. And I don't understand that. Even if I'm lonely and by myself, it don't mean I'm gonna pay you to be my friend. Somebody on the internet that I don't even know. If I'm gonna lose my money and pay somebody, I'm gonna pay somebody that I can see in person. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna buy me a man. Yeah, I don't understand that. Because I'm like, they love the older Christian folks. They'll tell you too. Con artists will tell you. Do y'all watch what's it, Public Service Army? Because he be doing videos on other I call, you know what I call them now? Bougie beggars. He be doing videos on other BBs. And there's this one, she is real nasty. She did a video of herself using the bathroom in a bag to prove that she uses the bathroom outside. I thought that was so disgusting. But she did one of them candy things the other day. Y'all have to go over there and see that. That thing had me laughing so hard I was crying. She was at the gas station, and there was a lady that was standing on the sidewalk that I guess she had been talking to, and she was recording. And the lady had told her, "Don't record me." And she called herself doing one of them candy things. You know how when Candy will hold the phone up and be still recording the person, but they don't know it because she just kind of holding the phone up? PSA, Public Service Army. So she did that. She's walking up to the doors of the to go into the gas station, and she holds the phone up over her shoulder, and she's still recording the lady. But what she don't realize is the lady saw her. The lady ran up on her. She beat the hell out of her. She knocked the phone down. The next time you saw the girl, she was in a hotel room, but the woman had busted her nose. She was bleeding. I was like, uh-huh. Y'all gonna get enough of recording people when they tell you don't record them no more. So you think you can just go out here in the streets and just record people because legally, if you're in the public, you can record people. It don't mean that people gonna like it and they gonna let you do it. You wanted to be a nun? Well, I ain't never thought about being no nun. I have never thought of being a nun. They was always scary to me. And then where they lived, like the churches looked like old big mausoleums and the rooms looked cold, and I don't know, it just looked kind of creepy to me. I thought it was illegal too, but it's not. because it's in a public space. So if you're outside at the park, at the zoo, or wherever, people can record you because you're in a public space. Now, people don't like you recording them. And see, my thing is this: you don't ever know what somebody's doing. They might be doing something illegal. They may be somebody that's on the run. They may be out there doing something with somebody else that they ain't supposed to be doing. And you over here recording them. Somebody gonna jack you up. And see, I know if you were just recording me just to be recording me, I'm gonna confront you. What you recording me for? What is your purpose and what you gonna do with it? Just because you can do something don't mean you should do it. And I don't know. Randy, I'm gonna say this. Somebody must be praying for your sister. She must have some supporters that really love the Lord because there is no way that this woman should get away with the stuff she get away with. And see, that's another thing. You've had people get in trouble for recording children. You have, because I was at my church. We used to do a lot. We used to feed the neighborhood in the morning. Then we would have noonday lunch, and then you would get a mini little service. And so I would be at the church all day working. So like around 2:30, 3 o'clock, the kids start getting off the school bus and stuff. And so there was a bus stop like right on the corner of our building. And so I'm standing in the door. We had a church, what they call it, a church inside of a building, but it wasn't a church building, storefront church, that's what they call it. So it had a glass door because it was like an office building that we were in. And so I'm standing there and I'm just looking outside. I guess I didn't have nothing to do because I was just standing there looking outside the door. And I seen this old guy drive up in a red truck. So he backs in and he's just sitting there. And so I'm wondering, why is he sitting in front of our church? Because we got crosses everywhere on all the windows, big old cross out front, the name of the church. So I know he knows this is a church. So he's sitting there and I'm like, he's not getting out the truck. He's not acting like he wants to come to the church and like needs assistance for anything. So he's just sitting there. And I noticed that he's watching the children get off the bus. So I'm watching him watch the children. Then I'm watching him do some disgusting stuff in his truck that he should not have been doing, watching children. And I'm like, I know he is not out here in front of the church masturbating to children getting off the school bus. So I ain't say nothing the first day. I said, I'm going to look and see if this man come back. So the next day, I made sure I was at the door when the kids was getting off the bus. And here he come pulling up, backing up in front of the church with his window down, looking at the children. I opened the door real slow. I walked up on him. He's so busy doing what he doing, he ain't realized that I walked up on him. And I looked him straight in his face and I was like, can I help you? Because you're in front of the church. You need God? Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to pee on himself. And I told him, let me tell you something, pervert. If I see you up here in front of the church again, I am calling the police on you. Because I don't know what you think you're doing, but it'll be a cold day before I let you do something to one of these children out here. Man, he zoomed off so quick. I did take his license plate number too. And I told the police, I was like, because we had a good relationship with the sheriff department. I was like, we got this old guy coming up here in front of the church, sitting out here watching the kids when they get off the school bus. Because my thing was, we was in a black neighborhood, and you're an old, gray-haired white guy. Why are you over here? You don't live over here. All the little children getting off the bus was black. And so that's why I tell people, you have to be mindful in your neighborhoods. When it look like somebody don't belong there, they don't. when they hanging around the school bus, they are. I saw a guy checking kids out at the daycare. He was standing there on the corner. I surely stopped and went to the daycare and told them, hey, y'all got perv over here watching the children out here playing. I was like, I'm surprised folks ain't tried to hurt me because I will report your ass in a minute. In a minute. It don't make me no difference. That's why I be like, I don't understand how people don't be knowing children live in the building across from them. How the hell you didn't see children for 4 years? Like there's that story in Michigan where the mama had left the kids in the apartment. She was still paying rent. And she would just come over and bring them food and left them in there for at least a year. The neighbors all knew the kids was over there. They would see the kids in the windows. Sometimes the kids would open the window and be talking to them. And they would see the mom come. A lot of times they said she never even got out the car. The oldest one would come out, get the food, or she order and have the food delivered to the front door. And she all on YouTube, got a YouTube channel out there on Instagram, just party hardy, party harder. I forget what happened. Something happened where they ended up finding the kids up in there, and it was another situation where the house was roaches and rats, and it was so bad that the kids had been in there so long without any assistance or anybody training them that they didn't even know how to go to the bathroom. They were just using the bathroom wherever. It was like they were like wild animals, kind of. And then the neighbors had to say, well, we seen the children. They would talk to us sometimes. The oldest one, the younger ones weren't saying that, but the older one. And they didn't see the mama. They would see her drive up, but she wouldn't go in. But nobody thought nothing of it. You didn't see the kids going out to go to school. You didn't see the mama going in the house. You just seen her dropping off. You didn't think nothing of it. I mean, how often do you see children and they never come out the house? Maybe I'm just too damn nosy. I don't know. You talking about the one that had her kids in the basement, had put the husband out, and she had gotten in good with the lady that was supposed to be some type of therapist and stuff. She had her family on YouTube, and they were one of those families that where she is supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, and the dad was working till she got caught up with that woman who had her own type of, I can't say it was a religion, but she had her own beliefs, and her and the lady became good friends, and she put her husband out behind that lady and moved into her big old house, and they had the kids in the basement. Yeah. But that wasn't as bad as the one that's in California. Remember the one in California where they had all them kids, that family, and they would go to Disneyland and all this stuff, and all the kids would be dressed in the same clothes. The whole family be in red t-shirts and white pants and all this stuff. And he was an IT guy, and he made good money. But they had them like chained to the beds and all this stuff like that. And the one girl got out and was able to tell about the other kids. They've shown them since they have been out, and they're older now. But they still got issues, you know. But they're talking about, you know, I think it was like 2 girls and one of the boys have done interviews and talked about how hard it was for them to be able to just acclimate themselves into the world because they had been locked up in that house for so long. I mean, them kids ain't never gonna be right, or young adults. People crazy. People is crazy. But yeah, Brandy, something is protecting Candy. Because like the stuff she do on the bus, like with the guy that stands up there and talks to the bus driver. Why does that bother you? Yeah, they had 12 kids. I'm like, the man has already been a bit hostile with you about you saying stuff to him. And yet you get on the bus, and instead of you saying something like, "Excuse me, would you mind if you scoot over just a moment so I can get by you?" I know she gets on the bus and probably just looks at him and say, "Move, let me get by you." And then she'd be wondering why people treat her that way. And then she sits there. The thing that freaking amazes me is that she will get into an altercation with these people and sit there and record them. Just literally sit on the bus with her phone right in the person's face and records them shaking their leg. Or the poor guy with the walker. He has something wrong with him because the other day when she recorded him because she was mad because he was on the bus early in the day that morning, you could look at him and tell that he got some stuff going on. And he's on a freaking walker. And you're harassing him. I'm just like, you don't care who it is. She literally starts with them with her own crazy ass bullshit. Because the man walker, then the man wasn't even, the man had his walker. It wasn't even touching her. And she talking about he taking up space. I'm like, so everybody, when you get on the bus, everybody just supposed to move out the way, let you sit in the same spot that you like sitting in. You don't want nobody sitting next to you. Girl, you know what? We would probably be fighting every day as kids. Probably fighting every day. And I would have to learn how to whoop her ass. That'd be all to it. I would be curious to know what your foster mother would say. I would really be curious to know what her take is on raising Candy. Because just the stuff she do, I mean, she cannot. It's like, unless she's in a hotel room, that is the only time she's not bothering other people. You leave the hotel room the other day and you go to a cafe and get into it. You literally got mad because the lady made the wrong milkshake. Okay, it might have been busy. She might not have heard you good. Who knows what might have been going on with that person. But I guarantee you she showed her ass about the woman making a chocolate milkshake with whipped cream versus what was it, butter pecan. And talking about the woman knew she didn't like whipped cream. How the hell would that woman know that? I'm gonna watch it. People were saying it was really good. Somebody came in the chat and said it was really good. I said I was gonna watch it whenever I finished the live or tomorrow. Because the things she do just crazy. And then she gonna say they put something in her milkshake. That's why she went to sleep. I'm like, no, ma'am, you was in a sugar coma. Have y'all not ever ate something sweet and then you got real sleepy afterwards? All right, Mark. Now have a good day at work tomorrow. Don't be out there in that heat. Don't be out in that heat too long now. Make sure you got some water on the door. Because I've noticed since I've been trying to eat better and I fast during the day and I don't eat till after noon, if I eat something like the other day, I had a sub and the bread, has carbohydrates. And so that turns into sugar. I got so sleepy. It depends on what I eat. If I eat a salad, I'm okay. But if I eat something that's going to turn to sugar, and don't let me eat something with sugar, because, a lot of times we figure, let me have a donut or a muffin or something like that, especially in the morning, and then I'll get that sugar high. Yeah, you get the sugar high for a moment, but afterwards, man, you start crashing. I know I get real sleepy. I definitely could tell the difference. So I'm like, you had a dang on milkshake with a chocolate croissant and put honey on it. Your sister eats so weird. All that damn sugar. That's what made you go to sleep. And I'm like, how hard was you sleeping that you didn't even know that somebody had bought you a brownie and some water? And I know she talking about something. They forced urinated her. No, girl, you peed on yourself when you woke up and found the police standing over you. That's what made you pee on yourself. Because I know that scared the shit out of you. and then gonna say that one of them looked dirty and looked like he had bed bugs or something. I'm like, you always think everybody else looks bad. I'm like, have you looked at yourself lately? You are scary. You look so bad that somebody felt the need to buy you a brownie and some water just from looking at you. I'm like, please. And I know she showed her ass. I know she showed her ass in that cafe. And the guy was still nice. He was like, no, you're not banned, but you need to take your business someplace else. And here she go. He was only 30. How you know how old he was? I'm older than him. But this goes to show how crazy she is. Who gets put out of a place and then go across the street and call the place back and want to know why they called the police on them? And the guy said he was doing a well check because they couldn't wake her up. They didn't want your ass dead. They didn't know what was going on with you. You looked like you could be on drugs or anything. He wanted to make sure you was all right, but you want to tell him off. It is so crazy. I'm like, the things you do is just don't make no sense. Then you turn around and get your happy ass on the train and get mad because we all know she talks loud. We know damn well. I have never heard your sister whisper. And she told my son, I was talking like this. No, you wasn't. You was talking loud, and you probably was talking about something inappropriate that nobody else wanted to hear, because you do talk about stuff like that. And I don't blame the other person. And then compared yourself to the children who were laughing and playing with each other. You're not a child. You're a grown-ass woman. People don't get mad when they see happy children laughing and playing. They probably was happy about being on the train, going wherever they were going. You sitting there talking about something stupid and complaining about who knows what, gang stalkers, probably calling them sex perverts, saying that they trying to sex traffic you and all this other stuff. Who knows what your sister was talking about? I'm just like, girl, you cannot be in public at all. Literally, you can't be around other people. Has she ever? I have never seen her happy. It's like, even when she smiles, I hate to say it, but she reminds me of, you remember how the Grinch smiled in the movie The Grinch? Her smile is so crazy looking. The only two times I ever see your sister happy, or a semblance of happiness, is when she talks about her writings, like when that lady did the interview and she got to talk about her writings, or when she's talking about food. I mean, she will describe some food, like when the lady bought her the orange juice and it tastes so good and it's so flavorful. She couldn't believe how good the orange juice tastes. I mean, she went on for 5 minutes about a bottle of orange juice. I mean, she has a serious food addiction. You want to see her get mad? Don't let her have nothing to eat like today. Girl, I know damn well you ain't laid up in no hotel room till 10 o'clock and didn't have nothing to eat. And you were okay with it. And then time out, she was going to be forced to go outside the hotel and get her something to eat. But I'm sure some dumbass probably sent her some money so that she can DoorDash. I like to meet these people. Because, hey, if you out there and you happen to come across my video, I could use some more spending money when I go on vacation in a week. So can you cash out me some money? Since y'all want to just give up money for stupid shit. I believe she is diabetic. She says she's not. It would explain all the urinating, all the sugar, the swelling of the legs. But she says she's not. But why would we believe she would tell us the truth about what the doctors say? And then, she thinks she know more than the doctors. So I'm like, okay. And let me ask you this. Did she like taking baths when y'all were kids? I don't understand why is she walking around with all that gross stuff between her toes versus just taking some paper towel when she's at the library and she could wash her feet. I mean, who walks around? That was gross. Yeah, she said she didn't eat. Okay. When have you seen Candy not eat and she be happy about it? She had money. I think she had breakfast. She might not have had lunch because it was 10 o'clock. But I don't think she had enough money to DoorDash and get food, or at least get the food she wanted. Well, how is it now that she walks around the way she is? Well, did she like combing her hair? Because today she trying to act like she was tender headed that it hurts her to comb her hair. Girl, you got free forming. Her hair began to look like Jay-Z. I'm like, it done locked up so bad. I don't know what the hell she put on there, but it looks worse than it was, and that's hard to believe. But it looks worse than it was looking. And talking about she don't want to go get a free haircut. If she don't be the first person in line tomorrow to get that damn free haircut, yeah, she got mad because she called the doctor's office and she swore the lady hung up in her face. Um, I don't know why Candy thinks she's so special, but seeing that you ain't been to the doctor in 10 years, things have changed. Most doctor's office want you to try to set your appointments online, and they're busy, especially if you're going to a doctor that takes Medicaid or Medicare patients. They have a lot of patients. They don't have time for Candy to call and be like, I went to the ER and tell one of her long ass stories. You just should have called and like, I need to make an appointment. I'm not even sure who my doctor is. I was referred here. I'm on Medicaid. Blah 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 blah. She do look like Kodak, Kodak Black. I hadn't thought about that. She sure do. What grown woman would tell people they go to the bathroom? Oh yeah, I checked out that damn Amazon list. I was gonna post it. The shit that Candy got on there is about $300 worth of stuff. Half of it she could buy herself. She get enough money at the beginning of the month that she can buy her own damn bladder pads, her own. What does she have on there? Bladder pads, um, Kool-Aid packs. Oh, expensive ass oils and shit. What the hell do you need oil for your hair when it? Girl, you don't need to do shit to your hair, but get it cut off and start over. It was a bunch of stupid shit that she could buy herself. And I'm like, where you carrying all that? But it looked like she got extra bags. Because when she got that check on Tuesday, man, she was at the Walmart bright and early with all them damn bags. She's not good with money at all. And she's a liar. If she thinks that the rest of us who make money can't budget up her money, girl, we know you get $1,000 or a little bit over 1,000 for your check. Because ain't no way in hell you was able to do as many hotel rooms as you did with your money and buy the shit that you bought and pay for the stuff that you need to pay for and still have money left over. And she got more money left over than she's saying. But you take care of your hair. If you grow your hair out, you're not going to go without getting it combed or getting it, trimmed up so it looks nice as it's growing out. She don't do shit to it. And then she's going to try at the last minute to go put oil and, oh my gosh, it started looking worse when she called herself putting in that leave-in conditioner. Because I don't think she knows what she's doing. She don't know how to take care of her hair. I think the pictures I saw when y'all were younger, I'm just going to assume that your foster mother took care of her hair or had somebody take care of it. You miss your king hair. What's king hair? A big afro? Oh, okay. I wonder what you look like with long hair. I think I seen one picture of you when you were married with long hair. Thank you, Nancy. Wouldn't that be easier? Or she could get, they have the big like duffel bag on wheels. She could put all her stuff in that one thing, but she, in her mind, if she has like a suitcase, it makes her look homeless. Um, Carrying 3 and 4 bags make you look homeless. And wearing I'm so sick of that black hoodie. If I could go down there and do two things, I would cut your sister hair off and throw that damn hoodie away. I put out there, I actually wish she let me do her a makeover for her birthday. I seen her with the long hair, but it don't look like she did it. It looked like somebody else probably did her hair because it was actually styled, like when y'all were in high school. She had a cute picture with look like she looked nice in high school. But I said to her, would she let me do a makeover? I even let her get a flowery dress. But I'm like, girl, for her to be so bougie, I have never ever in my life seen a bougie homeless person. I mean, she literally be talking about other people. I mean, she's sitting there on that concrete wall talking about that lady had a disease on her leg. It looked like she had a tattoo to me. But she was so far away, I couldn't tell. And the man had bed bugs and the lady had a disease on her legs. And I'm thinking, you got brown squishy stuff, black squishy stuff between your toes, and you talking about other people. It's just a gall for me. I just be like, who do you see when you look in the mirror? Who? Because it can't be the same woman that we see. Oh, but she must have started looking crazy back then when she had to do her own hair. Because I'm like, it's like she don't know how to take care of herself. Or she refuses. I don't know if she looks this way because it gets her more money. Because she definitely looks homeless and look like she need help. So, but I tell you what, Deborah ain't walking around looking that bad to make people believe that I need money. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Nope. Let me tell you, I went through a season where we didn't have no money. And I mean, when I say we didn't have no money, we didn't have no money. And I had gotten a job where I was working back in corporate America and I needed work clothes. My church had a clothing pantry. I wasn't too proud. I went right back there to that clothing pantry and got me some clothes to wear to work. And do you know that I got hired in a higher position because the boss that I had to interview with wanted to know that I come to work looking that nice every day. And I used to tell people, they were like, oh, you look so nice. Let me tell you something. I got these out of my church's clothing pantry. Donated clothes from other people. I sure did. Hey, Felix. It has been a long time. How are you? Is it hot out there in California? Hell, my knees be cutting up with the weight I got on me because I got arthritis in them. I'm surprised she don't have arthritis in hers. That's what I was thinking too, Brandy. That she be doing that to make herself look even worse because then people will believe she's homeless and give her money. Oh, I thought y'all had some hot weather. I need to be out there in Cali then. I'm sorry, Brandy. I'm not going to walk around looking that bad just to get people to think that I'm homeless. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I will not do it. Even if I had to wear the same dress every day, I'm going to comb my hair, wash my face, put on some deodorant. If I have to wash up in the library every morning when I come in, that'll be my pit stop. Wash myself up, comb my hair, twist it up. Hell, she could have braided it up. She could have got a corn rolled down. Then she wouldn't have to worry about it for a little bit. If she just wanted her hair to grow out, she could have did that. I don't know. I guess I was raised different. My mother would have had a stroke to see us outside looking like that. Shoot, she have a stroke to see if we was outside as grown women like that. It sure is. And she wonder why people treat her the way she do. Now, is that right? It's not. Just because somebody's is in a situation where they may be unhoused and don't have a place to go and be able to get everything done like they shouldn't be treated different, but people do. Don't start, Felix. I see you. You ain't stopped with you and your witchery. Would I be a knight? No, I don't think I'd be a knight. Oh, Polly, you real late. I done been on here since what, y'all? It was after 9, but it was before 10 o'clock. And here it is midnight, and you just happen to realize I'm out here. Parker sleep. He ain't. I ain't gonna say his name too loud. Y'all see, he got a haircut. Yes, you missed 2 hours, sir. You know, you and Recessionista is so fired. Y'all are so fired. I'm glad Martina was here because she loves me. How are you feeling, Polly? I was watching your video the other day. How you feeling? Well, they didn't have to let me be a knight. I wouldn't have wanted to be a knight back in the day anyway. Now, I would have liked to have been a princess, but a knight, no. Nope. How's your aunt doing, Polly? I don't know, Nancy. Her smile is a little creepy. Okay. You have to let me know. I don't know. Because at first it was kind of slow moving. It wasn't nobody but what, me, you, and Martina? And now it is after midnight. And Paulie want to roll his late butt up in here. I'm about to get off here and go to bed. I've been sleepy since this morning. I can't believe I was going to sleep on my own dang on videos this morning. That was crazy. Mm, sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that you're not able to go up there and visit with her. Yeah, that sounds like kind of how people are in those last days, and I know you know that. So you're gonna be able to deal with it, okay? Because that's your is that the last of your mom's siblings? Do y'all have any other uncles or aunts that's left? Mm. Man, I'm old. I need sleep. Now, Felix, I don't know why you be coming in here with this. You know I don't deal with stuff like that. You better be glad Receptionist ain't here, because she probably would have go ahead and try to give you the boot. Yeah, you are getting older. It might be time for you to give up the Barbie dolls. But there's other things to do besides playing Magic the Gathering. I have never even heard of that. Oh, you did say that. So y'all won't have anybody left on your, well, you have your cousins and stuff, but none of your mom's siblings. Good night, Nancy. Thank you for being here. Bye, Felix. Glad I got to talk to you. And Paulie, I'm about to leave you, because I done been on here almost 3 hours, and I'm going to get in my bed. You too, Felix. Have a good night. Because I've been sleepy since this morning, and I did not take a nap. Whatever, Polly. Whatever. All right, good people. I am going to call it a night. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I might need to get back to doing my lives. I'm going to try to, well, I was going to say I was going to do a live on my new channel, but I forgot. I can't do it on the new channel because I got to have 1,000 people. So I'm thinking I'm going to let Grandma Lick do the next live so she can get people to come over and sign up. I forgot to tell people to go over and sub on that channel. I'll have to do that tomorrow. Well, but I need some heat. We got enough heat. I got this AC on, buddy. All right, tell Annabelle, me and Parker say, hey, good night, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Now I didn't mean to wake you up, Parker. You too, Polly. Good night.